Have you ever stopped to think that maybe Earth, Venus, and Mars are, I don't know, connected in a way we don't fully understand? Not just as neighbors in space, but deeply, almost artificially intertwined. Well, today we're diving into some source material that presents a pretty wild idea, a hidden entanglement that could be influencing everything from our personal relationships to global conflict. So let's just jump right in with the big one, the core question this whole framework is built on. What if Earth, Venus, and Mars aren't just floating around doing their own thing? What if they're actually trapped together in an ancient, engineered feedback loop? So, to get our heads around this source material asks us to stop looking at our solar system as a collection of separate planets, and instead see it as one single interconnected circuit. It's called the Fallen Triad +1. Now, that's referring to the 3 planets we just mentioned, plus a mysterious 4th player that we'll get to in a bit. At the heart of it all is this concept of a symbiotic radial circuit between Earth, Venus, and Mars. But, and this is a huge but, this is not a healthy, natural symbiosis. No, the source calls it an engineered closed reversal loop. Now, think of reversal as something that twists natural energy backward. It's designed to stop organic healing and, well, basically lock these planets in a cycle of dysfunction that feeds on itself. Okay, so how does this whole reversal loop actually work? What does it look like? Well, the source breaks it down into 3 really specific planetary entanglements that keep this whole dysfunctional cycle going. First up, we've got the connection between Earth and Venus. This one is called the mirror flame loop. It's described as this super powerful magnetic link that works on a dynamic of intense attraction and repulsion. And here is where this huge cosmic idea gets incredibly personal. The source suggests this Earth-Venus loop shows up directly in our human relationships. We're talking codependency, unions based on superficial attraction or glamour, and those false twin flame stories. You know the ones. Those hidden reversal hooks are like the energetic fine print in a really bad contract, designed to keep people stuck in these emotionally draining patterns. All right, next up we have the connection between Earth and Mars. This one's called the shock action vector, and it's described as an entanglement that basically fuels conflict and ungrounded, purely external action. So this entanglement, it's said to keep war mythologies alive and really amplify conflict all over the globe. Mars, in this model, basically acts as a discharge vent for all of Earth's unresolved trauma, which prevents any real resolution. This blocks what the source calls the inward flame breath, and you can think of that as the deep, quiet self-reflection that's needed to actually break these destructive cycles. And finally, the third piece of this triad. Venus and Mars themselves are locked in a synthetic pairing. This is called a gender flame inversion, and it perpetuates a really deep cosmic imbalance between the masculine and feminine principles. Now, the really important thing to get here is that this planetary lock is said to create these deep-seated gender wounds. The distorted magnetic energy of Venus and the distorted electric energy of Mars, well, they get mirrored directly in our collective stories and archetypes. That classic warrior versus seductress dynamic, according to the source, that's a direct human-level reflection of this bigger cosmic imbalance. So remember, this was called the Fallen Triad +1. We've covered the triad. So where does that 4th player, the destroyed planet Tiamat, fit into all of this? This slide just illustrates Tiamat's role perfectly. Think of it like a cosmic firewall. Before it was destroyed, it was a plasma vault, a protective membrane that held the system's original, undamaged, healthy code. But after it was destroyed, that firewall became an open inversion gate, basically allowing corrupted data, these reversal currents, to flood the entire system. Okay, so this quote marks a massive turning point in this whole narrative. It says, this resurrection process inverts the fall. It's bottom up, using Earth as the ignition point. Whoa, this is a huge shift. We're moving from diagnosing the problem to revealing the solution. And it's a solution that starts right here. To really understand this resurrection, we have to go back to the source of the problem, the original fragmentation. The fall of a higher density version of Earth, which the source calls Tara, scattered its core blueprint all across the planets in our solar system. It's described as a cosmic flame diaspora. Now, to get this, we really need to understand a key concept, the morphogenetic field. The easiest way to think of it is like a divine architectural blueprint.
It's the original, perfect, undamaged design for a planet or a consciousness before any of the damage or distortion happened.
So here's the crucial point. Terra's original blueprint was shattered, and now each of these planets holds a key piece of the puzzle needed for the whole system to be restored. Earth holds the foundational root seed atom. Venus has the heart flame mirror to bring back true unity. Mars holds the mind flame vector for coherent, balanced action. And Tiamat holds the key to restoring that protective plasma vault membrane. Okay, so we've got all these shattered pieces of a divine blueprint scattered all over the solar system. How in the world do they come back together? Well, the source describes the solution as a bottom-up resurrection, with the entire process kicking off right here on our planet, on Earth. And this is so important. This isn't an intervention from some outside force coming to save the day. It's an organic, bottom-up process. The steps are pretty clear. Individuals on Earth, what the source calls embodied hosts, anchor new energetic codes within themselves. This anchoring creates these energy bridges that then reconnect Earth to those lost blueprint fragments on the other planets. And that's what starts the entire healing process. So how does this massive cosmic drama actually affect us day to day? Well, the source connects it all through this concept of phantom echoes. It suggests that the energetic debris left over from that ancient cataclysm actually created these illusory timelines that still overlay and influence our reality right now. And this brings us right into our present moment. The source materials suggest that a lot of what's happening globally, especially the intense conflicts we're seeing everywhere, are actually these old phantom echoes surfacing for clearance. In other words, they're not really new problems. They're ancient wounds and illusions coming to the surface to finally be seen, healed, and released for good. And that really leaves us with a final provocative thought. This framework asks us to look at all the global turmoil not just as random chaos, but as a profound opportunity for clearing. So the big question is, if what we're seeing are indeed echoes surfacing for clearance, what is humanity, all of us collectively, being asked to finally see and to finally let go of?